Hello violinists, welcome to Prime Strings. I'm Henriette and this is lesson 4. So it's lovely to see you back here and I'm hoping you're doing really well with your violin playing. Let's get started today by tightening your bow. There we are. Just make sure that you've got about a finger width space between the stick and the hair, and then you're all right. And let's start by practicing that bow hold again. Now, you remember that we started with that little ring. So open up a little gap between your thumb and your middle finger, and let's put your thumb into that corner of your bow. So you can see that little space of brown wood in between this black thing and that black thing, and that's where we're putting our thumb. Pop your middle finger over the bow and then gradually put all your fingers down so that you've got a space between your index finger and your middle finger. These two fingers are together, and you've got a space between your ring finger and your pinky, and your pinky is on the side edge there. Alright, let's go ahead and do our bow exercises now. So let's wave your wrist like that, so you make your wrist really nice and supple. Be aware that you keep your right shoulder down when you do that. Lovely job. Let's do some windscreen wipers. And I really want you to try and feel the shift in balance. How does that feel in your fingers? How does it affect your fingers when you move the bow over the top and onto that side? And then go this way, and gradually we will increase the feel in your fingers for your bow. It's early days for that, but you can try and see if you can feel the shift in balance across your fingers when you move the bow like that. And today we're going to learn a different bow exercise. Let's have the bow upright like that, with the point sticking up to the ceiling. And now I want you to gradually start crawling up your fingers all the way up to the point of the bow. Lovely job. Once you've reached the point, step by step, see if you can get back to that heel of the bow again. So let's go ahead really slowly. There's no rush, because what we want to practice is the coordination between your fingers. Lovely job. Take your time. And once you've got back to the heel of your bow, let's see if you can find that nice bow hold now. So let's flatten the bow like that. Make sure you've got the two middle fingers together. Nice little gap. Be careful that you don't stretch your index finger out too much, and what we're aiming for today as well is to let your fingers come over the bow quite a long way, so I can see this quite a lot. So if that's you, drop your fingers over the bow a bit more and then set your pinky on the side edge there. Lovely. Now let's pick up the violin, and let's start by getting this button into that little dent in your neck here, and slide the violin over your collarbone to the left hand side. Lovely job. Be careful that it's not too high up or too low down, and only slightly tilt it to the right hand side. Really good. Now then, you can hold your violin right there, and now I'd like you to play 6 long bows on each of the strings. So we're going to aim to use the whole bow. We're starting at the heel of the bow and we're finishing at the point of the bow. And I want you to really feel like you're stretching your bow arm forwards. So try to avoid playing like that if you can, but instead go forwards with your arm. And then we want to find that balanced stance that we practiced in our previous lesson. So your left foot steps forward, a tiny step, and your feet are about hip width apart, and you create that really gentle rocking motion forwards and backwards, because we said what we don't want is you to get a habit of swaying side to side when you play the violin, but you want to sway instead forwards and backwards. Okie doke. Now then, let's place your bow onto the G string and then keep your shoulders in their lowest position. Here we go, and let's go to D now. Now let's play 6 times the A string. And 6 times the E string. Awesome. Give your arms a well-deserved rest. So let's swing our arms like this, just to feel how heavy your arms are. And let's see if you can drop your arms down just like that. And we'll do that again. Hold them up and now just drop them down like that. And what we're trying to achieve here is that awareness that we've talked about earlier on. We practice it with our shoulders. In fact, let's practice it with our shoulders as well. Raise your shoulders and then drop them into that lowest position. And up again. Great. One more time. And we all the time want to increase that awareness of your arms and your shoulders being flexible. So let's turn them backwards. Big circles. And now go forwards. Big circles. Lovely. And this way we prime the body to be always in the relaxed state, or as much as is possible when we play the violin, because the violin hold and the bow hold are so unnatural. You don't have a similar movement in everyday life, that we want to constantly remind our bodies where the relaxed position is. So lift up your arms once more and then just let them flop down, and one more time up, let them flop down, so we get that awareness of being relaxed. Now let's have a look in our book now. And in the last lesson we had a look at this section of music here, and let's just quickly recap the names of the strings. So we have already learned that we count the lines of the stave from the bottom up, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the note which is written in between the second and third lines is the A. So that is, if we see a dot like that, it means play the A string. And in music, every note that you see on the stave represents one sound. Now this represents a very long sound, and it's on the A string. Now this note here, which is in between the top 2 lines of the stave, that is the E string. So if you see a note like that, it means you need to play on the E string. And here you can see the 2 together. So we've got the A together with the E. The note which hangs down below the bottom line of the stave is the D string. So when we look here, we've got the D string and the A string. And this one here is the D string. And now we see a note which is way down below the stave, so it's a very deep sounding note, and this is our G string. Now here this looks a bit complicated here. That is a G combined with a D. Remember, the D was there, and we've got the 2. Not to worry about this, and we don't need to play. This is just how to indicate how music works, you see. And we are going to have a look at this second exercise today. Now, what can we see in this exercise? Have a look and compare this note, which you see here, with one of these, and you can probably guess that this is the A string. So we're going to play one A and another 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 A. Okay, so this is a whole long line of A's. Here at the end we see 2 dots, and that means play this line again. So we go back to the beginning. Now, every piece of music for the violin starts on a treble clef, and for now I only need you to know that that is called a treble clef. How it works we'll come to later on. And then there is a C here, and this C stands for common time. That gives you an idea about how we're going to count this piece. You may have heard that in music you will need to count to know how long you will need to hold every note for. Now, the most common time that we can come across in music is 4 beats in a bar. So when we play our notes here, we're going to count to 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all in all, we're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So we're going to just, for now, leave the repeat out, shall we? So let me put this on my music stand. And let's pick up our violin and our bow, and let's play that. So check over your bow hold before we get started. Let's put your violin up on your shoulder properly. Okay, take your time to prepare everything. And now let's put the bow down on the A string, because that is a string that we're going to be playing on. And I'm going to count us in for 4. So we'll play after 4. And then we're going to try and count while we play. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Congratulations, you've just played your first piece of proper music. So in a minute we'll repeat this, but I just want you to think that if you have 4 counts while you play the whole bow, that means that after 2 counts we should be in the middle of the bow. So we're going to share out the bow very evenly amongst these 4 counts, and that is the next thing that we're going to be thinking about. Of course we're thinking about our straight bowing and keeping our shoulder down and playing with a relaxed stance, but now we're also going to see if we can be at the middle of the bow, and you might even mark that middle of the bow with a little pencil line, or put a little bit of sellotape around your bow so that you can see where the middle is, or put a little sticker in the middle of your bow. Whatever you have will do, so that we can measure out that after 2 beats we are at the middle of the bow. So this is our repeat that we're going to play. So let's pick up your violin again and your bow. Check over your bow hold. Take your time to get that all in order. Check over your left foot being slightly forward, so you get that balanced stance. Hold your violin like that here, and I'm going to count us in for 4. So after 2 beats, we're in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So you may have altered the speed of your bow a little bit now to reach the middle of your bow after 2 counts. Well done you. You've done a great deal of very useful work, and I'd like you to practice this a couple of times. This course is designed so that you don't have to practice in between each lesson, but if you want to, that is what you can practice. So now that we come to the end of our lesson, let's just make sure that we all loosen our bow. Then it's ready to be packed away. Let's also just remind ourselves to clean the strings and clean the instrument. So grab your duster and just dust all the rosin off. I mean, there was so much to remember the other lessons, so we didn't quite get to that, but maybe today that is a good habit to get back into. So you clean your violin after each use. Very good. Very nice. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. If you've got any comments or questions, please can you write them into the comment section down below this video. It's lovely for everyone else that follows this course to see that there are other people who might be finding things difficult, who might have questions. So do please feel free to use that comments section there. I very much look forward to seeing you in lesson 5, but for now, well done and goodbye.